Good evening, viewers, and welcome to tonight's regional news. We begin with news from St. Vincent and the Grenadines. St. Vincent Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves on Wednesday said the cabinet is to decide soon whether it will accept a recommendation from scientists to lower the alert level for some parts of the island as the seismic activity at the La Sofia volcano remained low for yet another day. But Gonsalves, speaking on the state-owned NBC radio, also warned nationals to brace themselves for possible floods and landslides as the meteorological office was predicting inclement weather over the next few days. Gonsalves said that the cabinet will decide whether to go on orange alert, indicating that people can go back to the orange area safe. We now turn our attention to the twin island of Trinidad and Tobago. Jamaica has banned persons from Trinidad and Tobago from entering its country because of the Brazilian variant. Trinidad and Tobago will join the list of South American countries which now have travel restrictions placed on them. Jamaica, which is open for tourism, does not want visitors from Argentina, Brazil, Chile, Colombia, Paraguay, and Peru, where the Brazilian variant has been raging. Prime Minister Keith Rowley noted that, I quote, "We in Trinidad and Tobago are in a peculiar geographical location. This virus is raging in Brazil. Brazil has a border with Guyana. Guyana is part of CARICOM. People are coming from Guyana by way of CARICOM arrangements into Trinidad and Tobago." And now for an update on the ongoing protest in Colombia. Anti-government protests have taken place across Colombia for the 8th straight day as rights groups continue to raise concerns about excessive violence by security forces. Riot police used tear gas to disperse demonstrators from the main public square in the capital Bogota at around 3 p.m. on Wednesday, as well as in other parts of the city where people had assembled. But the protesters have said they will continue to take to the streets despite right-wing President Ivan Duque withdrawing the contentious tax reform that pushed them to protest in the first place last week. Duque withdrew the proposal on Sunday and his finance minister resigned a day later, but the protesters are now calling for withdrawal of a proposed health reform and a guaranteed basic income of 1 million pesos for all Colombians, among other demands. We now turn our attention to Mexico. Mexican authorities have promised a full investigation into the collapse of a metro overpass in Mexico City as questions mount over the line's safety. President Andres Manuel Lopez Obrador said, I quote, "Nothing would be hidden," end of quote, while the mayor said an external company would be involved in the inquiry. The elevated track on Line 12 fell onto a road, killing at least 24 people. At a news conference, President Lopez Obrador said the investigation to be carried out by federal and Mexico City prosecutors should be done quickly. I quote, "We cannot get into speculation, much less blame the possible perpetrators without having proof," end of quote, he said. And finally, ending tonight's regional news on a happy note. Halima Cissé gave birth to the nonuplets in Morocco. Mali's government flew her there for specialist care. A woman who had 8 babies in the United States in 2009 holds the Guinness World Record for the most children delivered at a single birth to survive. Fatah Sibi, Mali's health minister, congratulated the medical teams in Mali and Morocco for the happy outcome. A team of 10 doctors and 25 paramedics had assisted at the delivery of the premature babies. Professor Youssef Alwi, medical director of the Anne Borgia Clinic in Casablanca, said that the babies weighed between 500 grams and 1 kilogram and would be kept in incubators for 2 to 3 months. And that is all for your regional news. Thank you for joining.